Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Rogers. I'm a dentist in Arlington, Virginia, and I'm here today to demonstrate some of the newest technology in sleep apnea medicine. Many of you may not know this, but dentists play an important role in sleep apnea because we can create oral appliances that help open up the airway and make it easier for people to breathe while they sleep. Many dentists are doing this, but not all dentists have the ability to screen ahead of time and find out how the airway is before we actually create the appliance. So let me demonstrate this technology to you right now. The technology we're going to be using is called a rhinometer and a pharyngometer. It measures how wide the airway is in the nose and also how wide the airway is in the throat. Okay? The rhinometer is simply a device. It's like a wave tube. It's a very expensive fish finder, basically, and it sends out acoustic waves that are bounced back and captured by the computer, and it gives us a readout of how wide in centimeters, cubic centimeters, is the person's airway. Okay, so we'll go ahead and I'd like you to just hold your breath, and let me place this here. It makes a clicking sound. And then you can see on the graph over here on the computer screen how wide the airway is, and it's a graph of how far from the tube it is all the way up the nose and how wide the airway is. And right now this person has a very good airway. He's above the standard deviations on his right nostril. If we go ahead and move to the other side, we'll go ahead and do the same test again. Hold your breath for a moment. We find out that he also has a very good airway on his left-hand side. So the results of this would indicate to me that this person does not have a problem breathing through his nose, so that would indicate that's not the problem with his sleep apnea. So the next test we would do then is let's find out if maybe there's a problem in his throat. For that test we'll use something called the pharyngometer. The pharyngometer works the same way as the rhinometer, but it sends the acoustic waves down the throat, picks them back up again, and shows us on this graph how wide his throat is at various different stages down the airway. Looks like a little scuba diving equipment. Go ahead and place your tongue underneath that and bite down. And then what I'd like you to do is breathe normally through your mouth. And we're going to capture the data. And then what we have is a fairly normal reading there. Now what we're going to do at this point is go ahead and we're going to ask you to take a nice breath in and slowly breathe all the way out. Go ahead. Through your mouth, not through your nose. And as he breathes all the way out, raise your hand when you can't breathe out anymore. What we're simulating is what might happen to a person at night. You can go ahead and relax now. We're simulating what might happen to a person at night when they're sleeping and their body completely relaxes and their airway shuts off. Okay? In this particular instance, we find that when he breathes all the way out, his airway is about 30% lower than it is when he is breathing normally. Okay? Then what we can do is test to see what effect an oral appliance might have on this process. So go ahead and put your tongue underneath there. This time just move your jaw very far forward and go ahead and take a nice breath in and breathe all the way out. And let me know when you can't breathe out anymore. Good. And what that shows us is that when he moves his jaw forward, he has a much larger airway, on average 50% larger, 49% larger than when his jaw is hanging backwards. So if we were to give this gentleman an appliance that held his jaw forward while he was sleeping at night, he would have less reason to snore and less reason to have sleep apnea. So this allows us to find out ahead of time who is a good candidate for an oral appliance for sleep apnea and who isn't. Thank you.